Okay, as this beautiful Yellowhammer sings for me, I'll turn around because right here I have a patch of Coltsfoot. Let me get some close-ups of them. This yellow flower has thousands of years of documented medicinal use going as far back as ancient Greece or the Roman Empire. It's Coltsfoot. It's an early season plant which usually blooms between March and April. It's perennial, meaning it grows every year, year after year, from the same root system. You can find single stalks of Coltsfoot growing, but most of the time they erupt in clusters. The stems are covered with scales which take these pinkish violet hues, and on top of them is a single yellow flower that has 2 rows of ray florets. The external ray florets are bigger than the internal. The yellow flowers somewhat resemble the flowers of dandelion, but this is not dandelion, this is Coltsfoot. And even though both are early season plants, Coltsfoot actually grows or blooms earlier, meaning you'll see Coltsfoot first before you see dandelions, but they do overlap from time to time. The reason why it's called Coltsfoot is because the leaves apparently resemble a colt's foot. A colt is a young horse, so that means the leaves look like a foot of a young horse. Except I can't show you any of the plant's leaves, because this plant is a bit unique in that it doesn't grow any leaves until it has finished blooming and disseminating the seeds. The plant's Latin name is Tussilago, which is a compound Latin word referring to its healing capabilities. The word tussis means cough, and the word ago means to ward off. So Tussilago would suggest that it's a plant which wards off cough. As far as its preferred habitat, Coltsfoot likes wet soil, so it's often found near water, on the banks of streams and in ditches, but it has no issues growing on disturbed soil like you see here, and you can also find it on fields and meadows. Thanks to its early growing season, it doesn't really have many plants to compete with, so the range of habitats can be quite broad. For medicinal purposes, I harvest the flower in full bloom. The buds which have not opened up into a full flower, I leave behind. They will eventually open up and will be available for harvest, maybe in a day or two, give or take. The flowers dry quickly in a shade and can be then mixed with other herbs for a medicinal tea. They don't have any discernible scent and taste a little bit bitter, slightly bitter. Being a medicinal plant, Coltsfoot is noted for its antiseptic and anti-inflammatory properties. Traditionally, it's been used to treat the inflammation of the upper respiratory tract and to help clear phlegm from the airways. Decoctions from leaves have been traditionally applied to burns, swollen or sore joints, or poorly healing ulcers. But despite centuries, in fact millennia of use as medicine, the English Wikipedia page warns that Coltsfoot contains alkaloids which are toxic to the liver. I myself am not aware of any documented case of poisoning by Coltsfoot, and the 2 alleged cases were proven to be the result of mistaken identity. Even Wikipedia admits that much. The Herbarium of Medicinal Plants from the Czech Republic does mention that the Coltsfoot's flowers do contain the alkaloid, but notes that the content is very low and that already low content drastically decreases with drying, which is what most people do after collecting Coltsfoot anyway. I sure do it, but even if you don't, the levels apparently are really low. From what I understand, the levels are higher in the root system, which are rhizomes, but I don't really use the rhizomes, I just collect the flowers and that's it. Another traditional use of Coltsfoot in the Slavic countries is by rubbing an open flower on an eyelid in order to rejuvenate the tired eyes after the long winter season. You literally just pick up the flower, close your eye and just rub it on the eyeball from the outside, not on the actual eyeball, on the eyelids. Either way, keep in mind that I'm just the guy on the internet. What I'm getting at is use this video for educational and informational purposes on history and identification of Coltsfoot, but hit the warnings and do not take any Coltsfoot unless on advice from a licensed healthcare practitioner. As for me, I've been using it for decades and I will continue to use it. It's great to give a boost to your upper respiratory tract, especially if you have some phlegm in your throat or mucus, whatever, if you need to cough it out or if you need to clear the airways. It's amazing for that. And I'm gonna rub my eyes with it too. But if Wikipedia says that you shouldn't take it, then I guess you shouldn't take it. Trust the experts, right? Be responsible. Think of your grandma. Don't take any Coltsfoot. Done. You basically just harvest the flower. And I don't harvest the flowers which are not open. So these ones are okay to go. This one too. But this one I consider not thoroughly open, so I would leave it. This one too. And I mean, this one is a bud, not open yet at all. It'll take some time, maybe a couple days, but it will open eventually. And I continue. So again, this one's fully open, so I'm gonna harvest it. This guy I'll leave. This one, I'm gonna leave it too. I'll just harvest the bigger ones. Okay. So that's my Coltsfoot harvest for the day. Bunch of flowers still left for later. Lots of buds still remain to be open and bloom. So there's gonna be more. Hey birdie, you're so beautiful. Thank you for singing for me while I've been harvesting this Coltsfoot. You're amazing. Found more Coltsfoot on this little trail. 5 little individuals. And look at that trail. Nothing. All trees bare. This way. Nothing. All trees bare. The trail itself bare. And in the middle of it, beautiful. Spring is here.
Mm-hmm.